It's your girl Sam, and you're listening to We Are Proud. That's right, you heard it right. How you all doing? Hope that you guys doing great. I'm doing fine, and welcome again. And this week's episode is gonna be a little different than usual, cause it is the last episode. Dun dun dun. I know. Season 4 was lot more shorter than unexpected. Let's just say that inviting guests has been really challenging. Much of the reason, unfortunately, is COVID. But as I say, or as I always say, things will get better. Hopefully, we shall see. We will see how next year will be due to uncertainty, all those uncertainty around COVID. So we shall see. We shall see. But as mentioned, this week's episode is a little bit different. We're gonna start off with the Q&A. The last time I actually applied something like that was actually the end of season 1, featured Amal. I will link down below so you guys can listen to it. But I didn't actually expect many of you guys become that interested. So I thought, why not doing something like that for the last episode? That being said, let's get into it, shall we? Alright, the first question is, how has 2021 been for you and your business? Well, for me, it has been interesting in different ways. Actually, it has been ups and downs all the way, but I don't want to say anything negative or anything bad at all, but I really strongly hope that 2021 will be better. Hopefully. For the business or business company, on the other hand, things have been quite of challenging due to, like I said, uncertainty around COVID. But once again, we must keep the faith for next year. So I hope that it will be better next year. Hopefully, we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. What is your business about besides podcasts? Well, I'm getting that question quite a lot. Of course, many of you guys get like confused and want to get curious about my company. We are proud, and the only thing you all know is just the podcast, and that's completely understandable. The easiest way to describe my podcast, I will say, is this appetizer will come a little bit later this episode. I think that will be like the easy way to explain my business. But yeah, is it difficult to run a podcast alone when you don't have experience with it? That's actually what I thought at the beginning. It was about to be challenging due to the fact that I didn't have experience at all. I didn't have no idea about the process from recording it to publication. I didn't even know how to play it in. I don't even know knew about sounds and tracks and all those things like that. I just only the only experience I had from podcasts was just listen to it like everyone else. So I was like thinking, oh, it must be hard, it must be difficult. But I would say that I was curious enough to try it, and here we are, the end of the season. So I don't think it's so complicated at all. It is complicated at the beginning, of course, but once you get into it and go into tutorials, YouTube tutorials about podcasts, how to record, how to learn about tracks, about soundtracks and all that, afterwards it will be easier and easier. So actually my advice for many of you guys who wants to try it out is just about to go for it actually. And but make sure to not be too strict about yourself, because that was exactly what I did at the beginning when I started with my podcast, or the podcast, where I was like, I had to like stop again, record myself on the whole the whole words or the whole sentence over again. I was like way too strict, and then it took longer time. But things like that, especially when you don't have experience at all, it takes time. So it's just about to go for it actually, and yeah, just like go for it, be curious, try it out, and yeah, pretty much. What do you think about the fact that there's a few women in business? It is really, really bad. Really, really, really bad. And it is, of course, a lot of different reasons why women, it is few women in business. Well, a lot of people thinks that it is because it will change the past history, or it will change the future in different ways, might be in a bad way. But I mean, no matter what reason it is, I think it should be more women, both in the management and the business general. When does this audio standard comes out and what it is about? Well, standard is actually going to come out in April, so it is a few months, so not too long. It is about the word standards. It is about everything that is related to it, everything that has to do with standard, everything that has to do with body pressure, everything like that. And it is also about Sarah, that is the main character. She's going through things that is related to today's problem. That's why I name it the outbook standard. And it might be the problem she's going through. You all might feel it or recognize you guys into it. But I don't want to say too much. But it is really excited. Really excited. And like I said again, it's a really few months. So stay tuned for that. How are you in the relation with food and exercise? Well, earlier I had a really good relation when it comes to food. Not so much training and all that, but now I going through things when it comes to food. I'm going through things well, not exactly food, but when it comes to my health general, and due to my health issues, and I'm also vegan as well, so I'm related to that as well. But it is difficult from here to there. Like if you're watching people enjoying a lot with those certain food or certain amount of food, for example, it's like kind of hard a bit here and there. But I don't have. It's not like it is like ups and down when it comes to food. When it comes to training, I'm walking a lot when I don't have opportunity to train, but I do train like 2 or 3 times in a week if I can, or if I don't have opportunity to that, like I said, I'm walking a lot instead of taking the train to shorter place and then walk like barely 4 minutes to my place. Instead of doing that, I'm take few stops before my own stop and just like walk 10, 50, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just like take a walk and pretty much try to burn out calories, although those things are not important, but just like having feeling that you're doing some cardio at least. How are things been for you since you became vegan? Well, at the beginning it was really really hard because the first earlier when I heard the word vegan, my first impression was like, oh, you can barely not eat anything, right? So I was like, oh shit, what am I going to eat? Like, what is the next thing? What, like, I'm gonna starve. That was like my first impression of being vegan. But now I totally love it. I have been vegan now for uh, almost a year, maybe around there, more or less. I think it's less than that, but almost a year, close to a year. And that's a huge recommendation for you guys if you guys want to like eat plant-based food. But like I said, it's really hard at the beginning. The reason why it's really hard at the beginning is because it is like a huge change from your daily routine ish when it comes to food, and now you're gonna drastically change to plant-based vegan food, no meat, no dairy, no eggs. So it's like few things you had to like cut out, and that was like a bit difficult. It was really easy for me due to my health issues, but if someone else would have done it, I think it would be quite a difficult at the beginning at least. But as time goes by, it will at least get easier and easier. So that's something that I will totally recommend you guys. Should your weight define you or not? No, no, I know. It shouldn't. And anyway, at all. And I think even that, sorry, I think even that question it is a problem with the society. Of course, I'm not saying that weight is not important at all. It is important, although it is a number, but that number only covers you. It's only your business. The number, like the weight, your weight, concern only to you, and of course your doctors and people that is working in the health area place. You know what I mean? That's only them's concern, only them's business. I don't think that it is huge priority from someone else but yourself. And like I said, your wealth is not a business to anyone else but yourself. So that's something you always have to remember. Many of you guys have been like asking me about that question multiple times earlier as well, and of course I can imagine that why you guys like are concerned about it due to the society we're living in right now, where is a lot of pressure, body pressure, and pressure when it comes to looks and sort of things, and not even like out of the world, but like in school or at work. You have to, if you want to be accepted, you have to look set of looks, so you have to make sure to have that amount of weight. It's like, it's not defining you anyway. It is not going to define you anyway. It's just a number at all. If you worry about it, then make sure, if you want to change something about it or do something about it in that case, just make sure that you're doing it only for yourself, but not for people to accept you. Based on your own experience, what can you say about eating disorder? Well, it is a little bit of what I said about the other question. It is tough, of course. Like, I'm not gonna lie about it. Of course, it is really, really tough. And one day, everything will get better as long as you pride yourself in your thoughts. I know easier to say than done. And I know that it is like, yeah, like I said, easy to say than done. But when you start to prioritize yourself, only prioritize your own thoughts, only prioritize what you think about yourself, then you will see the, development. I have been through it, and it is like, of course, it's tough. But I think the thing about eating disorder is that it is too much. It's way too much. Like, his thoughts is there. It's not just only about food. Of course, the food, he has a huge meaning of it, but it is also about the thoughts, what people thinks about you, for people to love you or accepting you. But like I said, the same, like, I think my answer to it is the same answer as the the last question, to only prioritize yourself, and yeah, only think about yourself. Your thoughts is the most important thing. Your thoughts is the only thing that matters. So yeah, is it tough to be a woman in society? Well, in what exactly context? Although it's a good question. I'm really proud to be a woman. And tough, well, it depends again, but it can be in different contexts. But if I'm gonna answer it, if it is an open question, I would say being a woman itself is tougher. Let's take 5, shall we?
Ready to show off your skills and meet other women with similar interests? Then you have come to the right place. We Are Proud are based on girls and young women who are interested in business, data, and culture. We fight for big change and for us women to be heard and seen more. More information about us can be found on Facebook, Instagram. Until next time.
Welcome back. How did you like our new advertise? Comment down below in the section comments about your opinions, and give a thumbs up, of course, if you liked it. And let's continue, shall we? To be a woman, what does that mean for you? Do I have to have titties, hair, vagina to be a woman? Or have an interest in makeup, boys, and clothes? You really decide for yourself. But do you think I will be like them? Well, uncertainty is quite a common. People are not always 100% sure of themselves. But never expect people to love you completely. They certainly do. but it's about the only interest. After that, they don't even recognize you. Such is the world. If you live in a fictional world, you just have to follow the rules. There, I almost have to stop you. Even though it's in a fictional world, it doesn't mean that you should accept it or obey what people tells you, or even force yourself to do it. What you must do is you love yourself and listen to yourself and be sure, at least not 100% sure, but 50% sure by yourself. So I ask you the question, to be a woman, what does that mean to you? Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Not even this week's episode, the last year of 2021's episode. You guys can follow us on all social platforms, including Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts as well. Even though it's the last episode, as I said, it is still the Outlook standard that's coming out in a few months, so stay tuned for that. And I hope you guys have a fantastic New Year evening despite the COVID. And I hope you welcome 2022 with open arms. Thank you guys. Until next time.